Speaking of wokeism, shocking to no one, Justin Trudeau declares Canada proudly pro-choice, and we always will be, according to him. Women like me don't exist.
You might have seen this video recently. It was from a conversation I had with a young man on the issue of being pro-choice. In the days following this video getting out there, I got a whole bunch of comments and suggestions from friends and supporters who said, oh, you could have said this, or you should have laid out that to really make clear what your stance is. So I wanted to take a moment right now to emphasize that our government will always stand up and take action to protect access to reproductive health services. We've increased access to the abortion pill right across the country, which helps people in rural and remote areas. We're working with partners across the country to ensure better access to safe and inclusive reproductive health services, and we're holding provinces to account when they're not delivering on their obligations. In the House of Commons, in 2021, when a Conservative MP brought in legislation to restrict abortion access, Liberal MPs stepped up and voted it down. With attacks on reproductive rights around the world, it's really important that we not take things for granted, that we continue to stand up unequivocally. So let me be very clear. This government will never tell a woman what to do with her body. We are unequivocally and proudly pro-choice and always will be.
Oh, wait a minute, Blackface. You told a lot of women, and men for that matter, what to do with their bodies during the pandemic by either getting the jab or losing your job. I mean, what poppycock? I guess, my body, my choice, Sheila, that mantra only pertains to the termination of a baby's life, and certainly not about getting an experimental vaccine thrust into your arm.
Yeah, as a woman, there's nothing quite like having to listen to a man tell you that there's only one viewpoint on a contentious issue, particularly one that affects you directly. And I love the euphemisms, right? Like reproductive health. That's not actually what any of this is about. And I think regular viewers will know, look, I'm pro-life. I come by it honestly. For religious reasons, but also scientific reasons, but also for moral reasons, as in, I am not someone who believes in generational curses. Like, I'm not superstitious like that. But for some reason, the progressive left seems to think that children should be held responsible for the crimes of their fathers, or their mothers for that matter. And I don't believe that poverty or inconvenience should strip away someone of their humanity. But the left sure does. The left obviously does.
Sheila, and I'm going to quote Blackface verbatim. What did he mean by inclusive reproductive health services? Have we, if a woman of color was going to get an abortion, was she turned back because of race or ethnicity? Was that ever an issue in our country?
No. If I'm correct on this, and I know that I am, they normally put these services in minority neighborhoods for a reason. But also, I think he might mean that, he might be sort of appeasing the men can have periods but also get pregnant crowd. Yeah. I think that's what he's talking about there. Like, if you're a man that finds himself with child, what? We're Canada's here to help you. Like, this is the madness that we're having to listen to from our leader, our esteemed leader of our country. But by the way, thanks, ladies of Toronto, for giving him to the rest of us. Again, I'll give up my vote if it means that a woman in Toronto doesn't vote for Justin Trudeau. Unbelievable. I'm happy to make that trade.
So why don't we go from Blackface lecturing women about abortion to Omar Al-Gabra, a.k.a. the Hobgoblin. I believe Sheila Gunn Reid gets full credit for coining that nickname.
Transportation Goblin.
No. So this guy's going to lecture women on violence against women. And how better to do that than to, transition from loafers into high heel shoes? Check this out. Yeah,
let's run this emasculation ritual we're watching here on full. Just keep it on a loop while we talk about it. So apparently this is, I forget which organization does it, but shame on them anyway. What they do is they make men participate in some sort of self-flagellation by foot. and wear these pink shoes and walk around. And apparently it's to raise awareness, which means actually not do anything. Raise awareness is a synonym for doing nothing, but feeling good about doing nothing, for violence against women. And so seeing Canadian MPs march around clumsily in a committee room in pink high heels is supposed to convince men who might, I don't know, beat their wives that maybe they shouldn't. That's the theory behind all of this. And boy, let me tell you, I feel safer already. Like, I feel like I could just strut down a dark alley, jackknife be damned, thanks to Omar Al-Jabra and these other humiliating embarrassments of men prancing around in high heels. Like, what does this tangibly do? I guess we can just empty out all the women's shelters because these guys danced around in high heels. What a disgrace. Like, as a woman, I'm embarrassed. Where are the good women in these guys' lives to intervene and save them from themselves? This is a disgrace. What did this do? What did this do? We've got a bunch of guys saying, look how progressive we are. Look how much we care about the issue. How does this change hearts and minds? How does this help women and children in shelters?
Oh, Sheila, you said it yourself. It raises awareness. You know, it reminds me of a great quote by Mark Steyn going back many years. I'm paraphrasing. And he was mocking this whole raising awareness movement, whatever the cause may be. And he was saying words to the fact of, thank God in yesterdecade and yestercentury, inventors weren't raising awareness of the automobile or raising awareness of penicillin. They were actually inventing the automobile and bringing penicillin to market. Right? You know, they were doing something. And also, you know, the high heel shoe doesn't work for a male. The whole idea behind the high heel shoe, there is a science to it, Sheila, as you may well know. The whole idea is that it lifts the buttocks and it makes the chest protrude forward. It enhances the female figure. I know they're very uncomfortable to wear, but that is the actual science behind what the high heel is supposed to do. So a high heel shoe on a guy, does not compute.
Well, and I'm reliably informed that these people are against the gender binary, right? Like, they say, like, we got to get away from these gender stereotypes, but it couldn't be more gender stereotypical than prancing around in pink high heels to raise awareness about women's issues. I do not own a pair of pink high heels. You'd be hard pressed to find me in high heels. I'm running around in some little form of practical work boot, because it just makes sense for my lifestyle. But this is reinforcing gender stereotypes very clearly. Yep. But also, let's just look at the tangibles here. Effeminate men do not make women safer. Masculine men make women safer. Masculine men make the world a safer place for women like me. This makes, like, men who would agree to wear high heels are not doing anything to protect women and girls out in the world. They would grab your purse and run in the other direction if somebody confronted their wife, to do her any kind of harm. I feel like those are the kind of guys who wouldn't defend their wives. They would just, like, run away, scurry away.
Yeah. Unbelievable. What a Congo line of morons. But I will say this, Sheila.
And J.K. Rowling says, keep us posted on how many femicides this prevented. Yeah, exactly my point, J.K. Exactly my point. What does this do? What does this do?
Oh, my goodness. And I have to tell you, Sheila, though, in defense of the high heel shoe, for women, which it's meant for, Lady Menzoid always looks good in a pair of high heels. I think she only has one pair. She's like you. She loves sneakers and, practical shoes. And she always complains when she puts them on. And I always tell her, Sheila, better to look good than to feel good.
Is it, David? Is it? Because I feel like you tell her that too many times and you won't be feeling good either. I don't live in a world where I would ever come near a man wearing pink high heels. My husband outside he's power polishing the tractor for some reason right now. That's what I walked past on my way downstairs. Like, I just can't relate to these men. I don't live in that world. And it just is so off-putting. It just makes your ovaries just turn to dust and blow away, doesn't it, ladies?
I don't know that feeling, thank God.
That's a clip from something we call Rebel News Daily. It's our daily live stream hosted by my friend David Menzies, but the show also includes a rotating cast of hosts and special guests, including me. It's a great way for us to talk about the news of the day as the news is happening in an unscripted fashion, and it's an awesome way for you to interact with us as well. We stream every weekday, 1 p.m. Eastern, 11 a.m. Mountain, wherever you find Rebel News. See you there.